And thanks to Mr. Ravi, he has plans to take professional education to newer heights by expanding, by giving it a platform which will be unique, practical and relevant. Ladies and gentlemen, let us welcome Mr. Ravi to the dais for his address.
Thank you, Dr. Puri, for such a nice welcome and such nice words. Honorable Chief Guest, Mr. D. Shiv Kumar, Dr. D.V. Singh, Chairperson, ITS Academic and Advisory Board, Mr. Manoj Tandon, dignitaries on the stage and off the stage, a very good morning to everyone. At the outset, I would like to welcome the students of PGDM 2013-15 batch to ITS Parivar of 8,000 students. ITS started in 1995 with 60 students and then over the years expanded because of the demand and trust of the students on the quality of education being provided by us. We at ITS have always believed in providing quality education to our students. We will provide you all with a lot of opportunities during your 2 year stay with us. Opportunities on academic front, industry interactions, personality development, and above all, we will ensure that you hone yourself with the skills set to make you employable in the global market. Grab every opportunity and enjoy your stay with us. Before I end, I would like to share a small story with you all. A very rich man took his child to a village to show what poverty is all about. After the trip, he asked his child about poverty. The child replied, "We have one dog, they have 4. We have a small pool, they have a long river. We have lamps, they have stars. We have small piece of land, they have large fields. We buy food, they grow theirs and eat fresh. They have friends to play with, we don't have friends. We have to play with PlayStations and computers. They have happiness, we have only money. Their fathers have time for the children and our fathers don't have." The child's dad was speechless. The child said, "Thank you, Dad, for showing me how poor we are." My point of sharing this story with you all is to make you all know that life is all about how we see it, how we interpret it, and how we accept things. Next 2 years, you would be given good education, something for which perhaps you have joined ITS. Assignments, projects, teamwork, lot of education will go into it. Somewhere, you might find it tough, but then I would request you all to trust us, as all we would ask from you now would help you only in future. Trust yourself, trust your decision of pursuing a PGDM course. Work hard, stay focused, and I'm sure you all will pass out with flying colors. There would be, of course, activities beyond academics also, like annual fest, sports day, chess tournaments, table tennis, basketball, cricket. Everything would be there to ensure that you become a good all-rounder. As Mr. Shiv Kumar was talking about before the function, we were talking and he was emphasizing on the focus, emphasizing on the need for just not providing education but extracurricular activities also to ensure you become an overall good human being and a good all-rounder. My best wishes, good luck, God bless all.
Today we have with us Mr. D. Shiv Kumar, Chief Guest of the occasion. Shiv Kumar, or Shiv as he is popularly known as, has been associated with Nokia and in India, Middle East and Africa. Mr. Shiv is an engineer and an MBA from IIM Calcutta. Mr. Shiv is essentially a marketer and a general manager. Mr. Shiv has run more than 34 brands in his career over 2 decades. Mr. Shiv is a growth manager, having grown every brand and business he has been associated with. Mr. Shiv is an avid reader. He writes regularly for business magazines and teaches regularly at all top business schools across the world. The achievement of Nokia India team under Shiv has been case studied at Harvard, ISP and the Ivy School of Business. Mr. Shiv is on the board of Godrej Consumer Products. He is also on the board of governors of IIM Ahmedabad. He is president of the All India Management Association. Mr. Shiv has received many awards as one of top 5 marketers in India 2003, Brand Builder of the Year 2008, Best CEO in 2009, and recently his alma mater IIM Calcutta awarded him the Most Distinguished Alumnus Award in November 2011 during their Golden Jubilee celebrations, one of the 9 alumni to get this in the history of IIM Calcutta. Mr. Shiv follows sport and is a keen sportsman himself. Mr. Shiv is married to Hansini, who runs her own brand and innovation consulting firm. The person Mr. Shiv, whose profile is so interesting, we can imagine how lucid his address is going to be. I'm personally looking forward for a treat to my ears and wish you all do the same. I invite the chief guest to kindly address the office gathering. Please, sir.
Good morning, Dr. Vati, Arpit, for the wonderful short story on the poor and the rich and who's poor, who's rich. Dr. Singh for your wonderful address. Dr. Puri and Sam. And what else? Thank you very much for inviting me here. At commencement speech on 80 facts to take the world policy. Here's the real thing. As I was saying, we perform in the library parties. Very good. So that's good stuff. First question, how many of you have more than 5 friends? Okay, so how many of you have more than 10 friends? How many of you have more than 20 friends? Okay. By the end of 2 years, it's important that we have this room. This room is extremely important. Because one of the biggest opportunities in the world is your classmates. Okay. Your classmates can open more doors and windows than anybody else in your life. Okay, so ensure that you become good friends, ensure that you know everybody in your class. My batch had just 97 people. I knew all 97, and even today I'm in touch with a lot of them. This month, after I decided to move on, I met all my classmates, 20 of them in Bangalore. We had a nice evening get together, and last week on Friday, we had another one in Chennai where there are about 10 people based. So it's always fun to be with our own classmates because the life you have as a student is something you'll never forget right through your life. So what I'll cover for you today is the India we see today. Okay, number one, a few thoughts. Second is we live in a global world and what's the impact of that. And I'll talk about that a little. And then I'll talk about being a student and what being a student means. And then finally, the MBA and what can you expect from an MBA degree. Okay? That's what I'll cover. Make sense? Okay, so let's go. India. The thing about India is, for every fact about India, there is a counterfact which is true. For every fact about India, there is a counterfact which is true. And you need, whether you are in the media, whether you are a professor, whether you are a practitioner like me, or whether you are an analyst, or whether you are another government looking at it, you need enormous judgment and patience and, let's say, critical analysis in order to judge what India is. So let me give you a few examples. We say India is the largest democracy in the world. True. It is also the country with the largest population of illiterates. Okay, we are the largest democracy, but we also have the largest illiterate population right now, at this point. People say India has 40 billionaires, dollar billionaires, in the Forbes 500 list. And we look at that. That's true. We have 40 global billionaires. Absolutely right. And I think we will be country number 15 or 20 in terms of the billionaires list. But equally, 40% of India lives under $1 a day. And another 41% of India lives under $2 a day. So 82% of India lives under 120 rupees a day. So are we rich as measured by the number of billionaires? Yes, we are. Are we poor measured by the number of people we have living under $2 a day? Yes, we are. Both are true. Everybody talks about the demographic dividend, how young India is. Absolutely right. India, this decade, will get younger and richer. The average age in India by 2020 will be 29. The average age in America and China will be 37. The average age in Europe will be 46. And the average age in Japan will be about 47, 48. So, is India a young country? Almost certainly yes. There's no doubt about it. All of you represent the future young India. But equally, we have 70 million people, my mother being one of them, who are above the age of 60 in India today. 70 million. And that 70 million is more than the population of the United Kingdom, which is about 55 million. So are we a young country? Absolutely yes. But equally, do we have enough old people in our society? Absolutely yes. The point I'm making here is, do we have services and facilities for the people above 60 today? The answer is no. We don't. We don't have proper care, we don't have proper ramps, we just don't have it. Okay, are we a young society? Yes. Are we a old society? Yes. All of us celebrate growth. Till we slow down to 5%, everybody used to cheer, and all the newspapers used to write, India is shining, 8% growth, 9% growth. Absolutely right. No doubt about it. Enough reason to cheer, correct thing. But equally take the counterfact. We had inflation at 8-9%, and we still have unemployment at 8-9%. Nobody talks of that. Okay, we all are very happy talking about growth and GDP growth, but we're not talking about the unemployment that we have and the challenges we have there. So you can get carried away by the growth, or you can get saddened by the unemployment. Both ways. Okay, you need balance to look at it. Okay. Next, business schools. We have the maximum number of business schools in the world. India has 3,000 business schools or more. The maximum number in the world, India. Is the quality of our management education and the quality of our leaders at a global level right now? No. Will it be in the future? Yes, it should be. Okay, so the fact is we have the largest number, but the counterfact is we haven't produced the kind of quality which is required to win at a global level. Okay, and that's a challenge for all of us to do this. Next, India is urbanizing very fast. Ghaziabad is an example, Gurgaon is an example, Delhi is an example. Lots of urbanization. But we don't have one city in the top 30 in terms of quality of life. Quality of life defined as basic services, education, safety, security, and all of that. So we're a fast growing urban conglomerate, but we haven't developed infrastructure and cities to actually back it. So those are some of the facts which I would like you to think about India. And my request to you is have balance when you look at it. If you only look at the negative, you'll have a very poor image of India. If you only look at the positive, I think you'll be too optimistic and you won't be realistic. And my idea of giving you both sides of the picture is to say, stay real. India has huge opportunity, equally it has huge challenges. And all of us need to maximize the opportunities while addressing the challenges. Okay? That will be my submission to you on India. That's the first point. The second point is, especially you, my generation was about India. Okay? Most of our life was spent working in India. Your generation, you're a global citizen. Okay? Boundaries are today mere lines in a digital world. Boundaries are mere lines in a digital world. You can be anywhere in the next 20 years. Okay? You can be anywhere. You are a global manager, and you should think like that. The best example of what I give before I get on to the data on global management. How many of you remember Princess Diana's death a few years ago? How many of you remember that? Anyone? Okay, there was also 10 years ago there was. Okay, this is a joke and so treat it as such, and I have a lot of faith in, and respect for Lady Diana. Lady Diana was an English princess with a Welsh title, the Princess of Wales. When she died, she was with an Egyptian friend in the French capital of Paris, being chased by the Italian paparazzi. Okay? And she crashed into a tunnel built by the Brazilians in Paris. And the car was a German car, okay, assembled in Holland. And the driver was Belgian with Scotch whiskey inside him. And the doctor who treated her was an American. You can't get a better combination of a global world, right? So keep that in mind. Okay. Today, India and almost every economy is linked to the global world. Okay. So how is the global world doing? There's been a lot of debate about developing economies, developed economies. The bulk of the growth globally is happening in developing economies. America, they've just released their growth rate 1.8% last quarter, 1.8% growth, which is very good for them because they are a 15 trillion economy. Okay, very good for them. If America grows at 2 to 4%, it's fantastic. Okay, it's fantastic. So they're at about 1.8. Okay, Europe is in recession. Japan struggling to come out of it for a long time. Okay, China growing at 8-9%, India growing at 5%. The Middle East is growing at about 4-5%. Okay, so all the growth is coming from the emerging world or the developing world. Okay, so that places a huge emphasis and, in a sense, a bit of a challenge and a conflict between the developing world and the developing world. That's only natural. Okay. Is India's growth of 5% good enough? No. India's growth of 5% is not good enough for all of you. Okay. We need to grow, I believe, at anything between 7 to 9% in order to lift 300 million people out of the poverty line. We have 300 million people out of the poverty line. We have a number of young people. We need to create jobs for them. Okay. So only if we grow by 7 to 9% will we be able to take care of the aspirations of the youth and the aspirations of the poor, both. Okay, India has to grow at 7 to 9%. And India has to fund the reforms, has to fund the mechanisms, and has to fund the investment in order to make it happen. Okay, that's very critical for a successful future India. Okay, one of the big debates now in a global world is something that all of you will face when you start your work. Governance, ethics, okay, ecology, green, etc. These were not issues in the last 20 years. But now they're becoming extremely important issues for managers such as yourself to deal with. Okay. So apart from running the business, apart from doing all the other stuff, you have to contend with the governance, ethics, and ecology in a future world. That's something that each of you, as you go through your careers, will be absolutely called upon to do. Now, having built what India is, having given you a bit of background on the global world, what do I see as the future of India? I see the future of India linked to 5 things. Number one, I see the future of India linked to the youth of India. If India has to do very well, it is completely linked to the youth of India. Number one. Second, I see the future of India linked to the women of India. Why is that? We have 620 districts. If you look at the most developed districts, they show 2 characteristics. Literacy amongst women is the highest, and financial independence of women is the highest. Those 2 factors determine how prosperous a district is. This decade, we will see the doubling of women in the workforce. Today we have 46 million women working. I suspect by 2020, we'll have more than 100 million women working in the workforce. We have 46 million working women, 136 million women studying, and 240 million women just sitting at home. Okay, I believe it will be the biggest potential for India, women. Okay, so first was youth, second was women. Third, I believe small and medium enterprises will be absolutely critical. And the small and medium enterprises will happen out in the countryside in India. They will not happen in the Delhis, Bangalore's, Bombays and Calcuttas. Small and medium enterprises will be the key to providing more jobs. That's something I see. Next, small towns is where all the growth is happening. You'll be surprised to know that the price which a small town person pays for a mobile phone is almost the same as what is there in a large town. Which means his or her aspiration to own a smart device in the latest is as much as that is there in a large town. So small towns is where the growth is. Okay? And finally, I believe the growth is in the services sector. The services sector already accounts for about 55% of our GDP. I think it will only get bigger. So the 5 places where I see the future India is youth, women, SMEs, small towns, and the service sector. Okay, so that I see as the pathway for India to move ahead. Okay. Today, your students, you are at the fag end of your studentship. Okay. Students are a very funny lot. Okay, I've been a student myself. When you are in primary school, you are in a hurry to get to secondary school. When you are in secondary school, you are in a hurry to get to college. When you are in college, you are in a hurry to get to a postgraduate degree. And when in a postgraduate degree, you are in a hurry to get a job. We are always in a hurry. Okay, students are always in a hurry. And that's why they have the boundless energy and enthusiasm. All I would say is pause. Pause and think about this. Okay. As we go through our student life, also ask yourself, who have been your role models? When you are in primary school or secondary school, your role models are invariably your teachers. When I was in standard 5, okay, one of my biggest role models was my English teacher, Mrs. Mark. Okay, I still remember her, I have great respect for her. Okay, the reason she was my role model was, that when I was in standard 5, at the age of 10, she said, Shiv, you can be very good in English. I got the maximum marks from her, and it was 66 on 100. Okay, it was the top of the class. And she said, Shiv, you have the propensity to be good in English. I suggest that you develop this, this area. Now when you are 10, you never know what the future is, right? Okay, next day is fine, forget the future. When somebody like a teacher shows or sees potential in you, it's a huge awakening. So when you are in school and college, in your school specifically, invariably our role models are our teachers. Then you come to college. When you come to college, invariably our role models are successful relatives, uncles, aunts, people who done well. Okay, they are our role models. Okay, so when I was in college, my role models were, I come from a family of bureaucrats and doctors, so invariably my role models were my bureaucrat uncles and other people, okay, who done very well in the IPS, who done very well in the IAS, and things like that. That's what our role models are. Okay, you draw some lessons from that. When you come to a place like business school, your role models shift. Your role models start becoming businessmen. Okay, people who've done well in the business arena. People who have achieved something in the business arena. Okay? So that's how your role model shift as you shifted your student life and how you grown with that. Every role model teaches you something. And my submission to you is learn the good from the role model, and you don't need to be exactly what your role model is. And the way your role model can help you is anytime you are in a jam at the crossroads, ask yourself, what would my role model do? How would he think about the situation? And invariably you would have a much better answer. Okay? That's something that I want to leave behind with you in terms of your role model. Finally, my thoughts on the MBA. Okay? And where it's headed. I'm an MBA myself, as you know, as the person who introduced me told you. I finished from IIM Calcutta. First, an MBA is a degree. It's not a guarantee. I want to say that again. An MBA is a degree, it's not a guarantee. I have done many commencement speeches in my life. This must be my 40th or 50th or whatever it is. I say this again and again. An MBA can open the doors to the first job and best the second job, not after that. The MBA can open the door to the first job and best the second job. Okay. So an MBA is a degree, it's not a guarantee. So don't think that an MBA is the be all and end all of life. It doesn't work. And because you have an MBA degree does not mean that life will be rosy. Both are not. Okay? So please keep this in mind. We're very clear. Okay? Doing an MBA teaches you a lot of width. You cover a wide variety of topics. Economics, social history, okay, statistics, marketing, market research, organizational behavior, finance, all kinds of things. So it gives you a wonderful perspective of how a business can be run. That's what it gives you. It gives you a wide. Okay, students who are interested then go into the depth of each subject. So you specialize either in IT, you specialize